Hello everybody, welcome back to some Control. Fair warning, right out the gate, my bunnies are running around again, so I may occasionally get distracted to make sure they aren't, chewing my shells or, escaping. Oh, is there a control point in here? Because, the room is all woohoo-y. Maybe there is. Oh, yeah, well, I guess I may as well check right now. Found out right before I started recording this that I actually finally have enough subscribers now that my channel can be monetized, which is nice. I'm not gonna, be making like pretty much anything off of it as far as I know. Although apparently it's been monetized now since December, I think. And I know that because when I went in to monetize it, it was apparently keeping track of how much money I was making anyway. And I made like 19 cents in December for like I said, I don't get near enough views to for it to be like, wow, look at all the money I make or anything, right? Like, or to quit my job or anything. But it is nice to get like even just a little bit of extra spending money. Granted, 19 cents, not really a whole lot, but I'm not actually sure where the 19 cents came from because like it had been so long since I had set up all of my shit. It like I had to go back in and like reset up some stuff. I've already lost my bunnies.
Right.
Oh well.
I won't take up too much of your time today, Dylan. Like I said, I want to talk about Jessie, your sister.
What about her?
I just want to get your perspective. What do you think of her? What kind of person is she? That sort of thing.
I adored my sister. When I was little, back in Ordinary.
And you don't anymore?
When I first got here, sure. I'd always hoped she'd come too. Find me, to take me home. We went everywhere together. Why should this be any different? Casper said she could come too, to the Bureau. If she wanted to. But she never did.
Why do you think that is?
Because she didn't care about me. She always wanted to be out on her own, seeing the world. She always said so. I guess she got what she wanted.
Great. So, she wanted to see the world. Did she ever mention any place in particular?
Why?
We like to ask questions around here, you know that. Any particular cities, towns, landmarks, anything like that?
I don't remember.
What about family and friends? Were you close with anyone living outside of Ordinary?
I'm done with this. Tell Casper I want pizza for lunch today.
Dylan, wait. We're not... End of session.
So I feel like that would be a conversation that they would have not too long after he's got here, but he clearly sounded at least like oh, I guess I don't really know what age they were when they got brought here. Okay, well, doesn't seem to be a whole lot in here, but I at least did find the recording. Oh right, I got levitate. But yeah, so yeah, my videos are monetized now, which is nice. Don't expect me to throw like ads at you every like 5 seconds. Like at most, I'll throw an ad at the beginning and end of each video. As somebody who watches YouTube a lot, I know it annoys the fuck out of me when somebody has like a video that's like a half-hour long but has like 4 sets of ads in it. It's like, oh my god, I'm here to watch the video, not watch commercials. Okay, so nothing there. Let's drop here. Oof, this might be a long. Well, it might be. Yeah, I guess you glide down pretty good. But yeah, I'll throw one at like the beginning and the end. I don't remember. Like I said, I set up a bunch of stuff for it like quite a while ago, but I gotta go back in after I'm done recording and see what there is to set up, because I know before you got to choose like where in your videos you could like where in your videos the ads would go. Like you could pick a video, like a specific video, and be like, I want ads at this point, this point, this point. And once I actually learned that, it actually started to get me really annoyed at a lot of the channels I was watching. It doesn't affect me quite so much anymore because ad blocker works wonders. Rudo, hey, no chewing the shelves, I said. Shithead. But oh, I didn't come this way. What the hell is this? Oh, it's a party balloon. But yeah, because like they would have like some of them do well, like outside Xbox and outside Extra. They're pretty good about their ads coming. Like to be fair, I pretty much only watch like their list videos, like 7 things in like 7 times games did this, whatever, right? So this is purely based on that. I don't know about like their other videos if they do better or worse on them, but at least for those videos outside Xbox, outside Extra, they generally have those. They generally have the ads be at the end of one of the at the end of one of the entries, you know. So you know it's not like partway through an entry and then an ad, and you know. But there's a lot of other ones that will have like let's just say a list video, but the ad will instead of being like at the beginning or the end of a oh god, there was a fucking control point up there too, wasn't there? It'll be like in the middle of a of one of the things, and it's like, I know you can set that. Or it'll be like, I'll be watching a Let's Play or something, and they'll have like be like in the middle of an exciting part, but because they didn't bother to go in and actually set where the ads are, it's like, oh, just about, like something's just about to happen, and then it's like, oh, cut the ad. And it's like, oh my god. Alright, what do we get? Extra levitate duration? Yes, please. Ooh, what is this? I mean, slam the ground, eh? Do I have to? I don't. Well, I have a feeling I'm going to be putting a lot of points into levitate here. What is this? Okay, I did get a reward. But yeah, I'll go through and I'll see. I don't know. Like I said, oh, what is this? Oh, complete 25 board countermeasures. Good for me. Maintenance, containment. I only need, but it's again. Oh, well, whatever. I'm sure we'll be back here soon. And we actually do have to go back to research. So I'll do that. All right. All right. Let's fast travel back to Central Executive. Talk to our brother. But yeah, because I want to say that before you could set it so that you had like a general principle where it's like every video would have that, and then you could go into individual videos and adjust it if you wanted more, if you wanted to, for whatever reason, take away them. So I'll probably go in and just slap it on like beginning to end of the video and just leave it at that, because like my videos are very random length, and I don't see myself wanting to put more than just the 2 ads in there.
HRAs is purely antithetical to every variant of the His signal I can arrange. But how did Darling create?
Alright, if we understand the hiss to be a force based on vibration and resonance, then perhaps their incantation, which is now the agreed upon term for the vocalizations, is an effort to express that resonance using human vocal cords and speech. Would there be differences if the incantation were recited in a different language? The most common word used is want. Interestingly, every usage of the word is attributed to a you. You want to listen. You want this to be true. You must want these waves to drag you away. Are we the you the hiss are referring to? Does the hiss believe humanity, possibly all non-hiss life, wants to join it, to be consumed by it? Is that its goal? The second most used words are through and time. Is this possibly the hiss state, how they arrived here, or an indication of its age? There is clear intention in the words. Dismissing the incantation as nonsense, as some of my colleagues recommend, is beyond idiotic. I mean, yeah, it would be kind of weird to dismiss it, because, I mean, they've clearly shown that when they take over somebody, they get information from them. I mean, like, the people they're controlling can still use their guns and everything, so. Outright, the one that
It's happening. After all these years, Dylan is here. But am I too late? How is he? I need to know.
He's clearly been affected by the hiss, but it's different than any other manifestation we've recorded. Maybe what makes you so special is genetic. He was a prime candidate. Or maybe it's Polaris protecting him, something else affecting the situation. I need to run tests. He seems more in control, more present.
I want to see him. My brother. Or is he?
Of course. Now, Marshall set up an HRA-warded cage to contain him. It's on the upper floor, up the stairs.
Okay, I need to go.
Jesse, be careful.
Oh yeah, so, well, no, you know what, I'm not going to get into that right now, because, what is this? Oh, a jukebox token. I do believe that this is one of the DLCs, if I'm not mistaken.
I found this token. Any idea what it does?
Ah, that is a jukebox token. Little bastards turn up in the weirdest places, like bad pennies. The Rangers use them to activate an old object of power.
A jukebox, I assume. Does it have any good songs?
Nope, just the one record. Hey, be careful turning it on, though. When it's playing, you get a free trip to the formation.
The formation? That sounds ominous. Why does it send you there?
The Bureau has been wondering that for years. I mean, it's just a pile of rocks built by God knows who, but... Well, researchers have confirmed it's in the same threshold as the quarry. Well, no one's ever been able to map a physical route to the formation for maintenance.
So it's in the quarry. You just don't know where.
Pretty much. We only send in annual expeditions to the formation now. Checkups, Salvador calls them. This year's team went in the day the hiss arrived. Come to think of it, the song should have brought them back hours ago.
I can go in and take a look.
I'd appreciate that. The jukebox is kept just past the security booth over there. Just put in the token and enjoy the ride.
Okay, well, fuck it, let's do it now.
What's the deal with BlackRock?
Oh, fuck. Don't get me started on BlackRock. You know, ever since research found out that it blocks paranatural stuff, they have just been parading dangerous materials in and out of the fucking quarry. Fucking lab coats, man. Look, making my job harder.
Sounds like there's some tension between departments.
Still, at least the quarry's got a good view of the night sky. You know, me and Salvador used to have after-work beers down there.
What do you know about Dr. Darling?
About as much as anybody, I guess. Head of research, loves to hear himself talk. All of those science types absolutely do. He's been acting a little bit psycho recently. Although HR told me not to use that word, so...
Everyone thinks finding Darling will lead us to the answers. But if he's completely lost it, then what help could he be? You're security, right? Do you work with Rangers?
Not often. Rangers are specially trained in threshold reconnaissance and ground zero AWE response. Security is more interested in the dangers inside the Bureau.
They must see some weird stuff out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, every week they are tackling things that were previously unknown to the human experience. Most Rangers, they retire due to cognitive collapse. I looked up the medical definition. Not fun.
How does the Bureau handle thresholds?
Handle might be a bit of an optimistic way to put it. Marshall sends her Rangers in to map them, check growth rates, locate epicenters, take samples, measure stuff, basically.
Sounds like he's done his homework.
Now, down in maintenance, thresholds are used just like any other tool. The lab coats mine black rock from one, maintenance siphons water from another. We use it for pretty much everything, except drinking.
Why don't you drink it? Do I even want to know?
Yeah, a lot of time we find these little chunks in it. It's pretty gross.
I didn't want to know. What do you think of Marshall?
Marshall? Marshall's a fucking badass. Rangers could not ask for a better leader. She's a little, you know, intense, but given the stuff she's seen, I'm not surprised. She does have a bad habit of disappearing, though.
Where does she go?
Last time she vanished, I did some digging into the security logs. I found camera footage of her entering the quarry. She was down there alone for days. Now, typically that's not allowed, but Marshall is kind of above the rules.
I wonder what she finds so interesting in the quarry.
Alright,
I have to go.
there's some good information.
You're not the only one who's busy, you know.
You know, when we first met that guy, I really didn't expect him. Tokens can be constructed at control points or earned through Bureau alerts or expeditions and defeating elite enemies. Okay. I did want to check this. Okay, so you just buy them. Okay. Well, I'm obviously not going to worry about that right now. This does not take a corrupt example. It does take 15 remote thoughts. It says I'm not using it. I'll save it in the hopes of another corrupted sample so I can construct the charge. Alright. Still wants me to talk to him, but I'm not going to. Speak with Dylan on the upper level. I don't know why it's still marking him like that. Okay, where the fuck am I going? It said that they constructed a cage on the upper level. But that doesn't really...
Apparently the director restored HRA production. They're already getting other survivors out of safe rooms.
Great.
Oh look, we can... Dr. Darling especially recommended Miss Pope for a promotion based on her work ethic and assistance in advancing many ongoing research matters. According to her colleagues, Pope has displayed a keen eye for detail and a quick grasp of paranatural concepts. She is professional and diligent, though some of her co-workers complain of social disinterest. The review committee approves this recommendation. Alright. I mean, social disinterest, that's fine. You're here to do a job, not to socialize. I mean, as long as you're not negatively socializing, that's fine. Collective unconscious is defined as a form of the unconscious that is shared in all human minds. From this arises unconscious knowledge linking us through our ancestral heritage. Through this collective unconscious, we unknowingly attribute a series of images and archetypes to all elements of our lives. These archetypes are never fixed, but shift and change in tandem with our species and culture. This internal belief in the power of images shared by a massive population is redacted in the creation of altered items and objects of power. The sheer amount of redacted exuded is attracted to the best representation of that image, imbuing a single object with massive amounts of redacted. Theoretically, places of power can likewise be formed by the simple power of sustained collective belief. That is a popular theory about supernatural things in the world. Like ghosts, everything like that. The more people believe in them, it basically wills them into being, I'm assuming those are HRAs. And then, obviously, like, the less people believe in them, the weaker they are, the not, stuff like that, right? Which is why, ghosts and that, they tend to start out weak. And, maybe a couple bumps in the night or something, and then, as the strange events occur, the people who,
they were attacked by a new kind of hiss, and Arish got
But yeah, like, you know, then like as the people that the ghost is doing the stuff to
From a mall cop.
become more and more aware of its presence, and their belief that it exists grows, it in fact does grow. So, you know, it's generating its own power basically. Um, which is an interesting theory, and I mean, as true as any other theory about ghosts, I guess. Oh, there's some chanters over there. Okay, you two look like you're guarding something. Ah, here we are.
Happiness comes, you are a worm through time. The thunder's home distorts you. Happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow and red in the eye. Through a mirror inverted is made right. Leave your insides by the door. Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been in your youth. Want this to be true. We stand around you while you dream. You can almost hear our words, but you forget. You are a worm through time. The thunder's
Okay.
home distorts you. Happiness comes.
Well, you're definitely getting clearer chanting from him than any of the dickheads we've come across.
You are a worm through time.
Shit.
The thunder's home distorts you.
That's Dylan.
White pearls,
Can you
but
hear
yellow
me?
and red in the eye.
Come on, Dylan. I'm here. I found you.
Into the wet. You've always been in your youth. You want this to be true.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, you know me. Say it.
You are Dylan Faden's sister.
He's talking in the third person. Always a good sign.
Do you know who you are?
Not Dylan. Trench and Darling made sure of that. I'm P6. P6. But I'm better now. The hiss made me better.
Did they now?
Through the surface into the wet. You've always been the new you. You want this
Can you
to
stop
be
that?
true.
Please?
Not exactly the reunion I'd hoped for.
It feels good to say those words. I want to say them. They sound good. They make me feel good. Don't you want to say them too?
No. Fuck off, no. You need to help me get this thing out of his head. If he is still in there, if there is anything left, you have to help me.
You came in through the hole in you. We let you in. You've always been here. The only truth. A copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Stop it!
Orange peel.
Shit. Shit. He can see you. This is not safe.
We found Polaris together with my sister when we were very small, in ordinary, in the desert, through the door opened up by the slide projector. But she didn't help when Trench took me away. She didn't give me any powers. All the powers are my own powers. She didn't help when they locked me up for years. After the song time for applause, we build you till nothing remains. The egg cracks and the truth will emerge out of you. You are home. The Bureau brought the slide projector back here with me. And the Bureau did what the Bureau does. They used it. And they found... They opened the door up to the hiss. That's the only thing I can thank them for.
There. There it is. We stopped the Altered World event in Ordinary when we shut down the slide projector. And now the projector's here.
An earworm is a tune you can't stop humming in a dream. Baby, baby, baby. Just plastic. So safe. Nothing to worry about. Funny. I welcomed the hiss. I let it in. To get rid of her. The hiss set me free. Polaris is using you. The Bureau is using you. You are a puppet. You can almost hear our words, but you forget.
If we shut off the slide projector, maybe that will stop the hiss.
No regulations.
Maybe it's not too late for my brother.
You must see the truth for yourself, Jesse. Sister. The horrible truth about the Bureau. The hiss is the better option. Go to the Prime Candidate program in the containment sector. I have the keycard to get you there. Salvador wanted me to have it.
Wanted? Bullshit. I saw what the hiss did to Salvador. What it turned him into.
Okay, Dylan. I'll go. I want to see the truth for myself.
I'll go. But only to look for the slide projector. You can help me. We can end this.
You are a worm through time. You are a worm through time.
Alright, so that's clearance level 6 now.
Happiness comes white.
Okay, so let's go have a chat with Pope. We haven't seen Marshall, right? Like, we sent her here. And she said she was going here, and like she's been mentioned a couple times, but we haven't actually seen her here, have we? Okay. Oh, and there's another document. To examine the invasion's timeline of events for possible patterns in his behavior, establishing a timeline is difficult at present because of the lack of reliable communication between Bureau sectors and staff. Preliminary models indicate ground zero of the invasion is located within the executive sector. Once it becomes possible to interview surviving personnel, pinpointing the exact location should be feasible. Other outstanding questions that a timeline may help answer: how did the hiss get past the internal lockdown? How does hiss resonance advance through space, deliberately or uniformly? What is their ultimate goal, the outside world, or cross-dimensional destination? I mean, the fact that it said that it seems to have started in the executive sector is interesting.
How are you doing, Jesse? It can't be easy seeing Dylan like this. I'm fine. What can you tell me? Is he still... human?
Or is he his?
I've taken numerous tissue samples and have tests running as we speak, but from the initial data, he looks healthy. I only see corruption in a superficial way. What does that mean? I don't know. This is all new, but if he's like you, maybe Polaris is preventing total hiss takeover. Or maybe this is just a new form of hiss. We've already seen how it affects people in different ways.
Dylan told me he let the hiss in. Does that change anything?
Voluntary conversion. I mean, hypothetically, that could affect the mental state post-corruption, as well as the extent of biological alteration. But again, this is new territory for me. I'll need time.
You won't have it. I'm gonna shut down the slide projector. That's how the hiss are getting in. Once I close it, this should all be over.
Jesse, we don't know how this works. If you sever their connection to the source, it could cause a terminal chain reaction. Every hiss-corrupted individual dead.
Better that than what Dylan is now.
I'm shutting it down. This has to end. Whatever happens, happens.
Okay, just let me know how I can help.
Thank you, Emily.
Okay, so I agree with her decision here. Now, my reasoning behind it is, as Pope said there, if I shut it down, I'm going to give it a 50-50 chance. Everybody who's hiss corrupted returns to normal. The ones that have been altered, like the floaters, should be fine, granted, depending on how high they're floating. The ones that have been biologically mutated more, probably dead. Especially some of the ones, like, they're definitely dead. Now, potentially, on the other side of that 50%, everybody who's hiss corrupted, I guess it's not really 50-50, immediately dies or remains unchanged. I'll leave it as that for 50-50. Or they're unchanged, right? And then, if I leave it open, that gives them more time to study the hiss, more time to come up with a way to cure, I guess, the people who are infected. Now, once again, I have a feeling that if they've been changed too much, that's not going to happen. But here's the thing. If I leave it open and they can't find a way to fix everyone quickly, the longer it takes them to find a way to fix everyone, the more people that are going to get infected. And then if it ends up being that I just have to shut it off anyway, and then everyone dies, then that's costing more lives. Because I could have just shut it off now. So I do agree that it is definitely the higher odds. That shutting it off is definitely the better choice, because odds are in your favor to minimize the amount of casualties. You do have a slight chance of having a smaller amount of casualties leaving it on, but you also have a much greater risk of causing considerably more casualties. Okay, let's see if Pope has anything else to say.
Hi, Jesse.
Anything new to say?
I've been seeing these Darling presentations all over. Seems like he enjoys the limelight.
So you noticed, huh? When he recruited me out of college, he actually came to visit. He interrupted my physics course by shouting, not quite, Professor, and then marching down to the front of the class where he proceeded to berate the very idea of laws of thermodynamics. Hey, he's been a showboat all his life.
Darling visited you in college?
Yeah, he read a paper I'd published, came to recruit me for the Bureau. I accepted and then spent years waiting for access to the confidential research that Darling promised me. And whenever I ask about my access level, he just mumbles that it's temporarily postponed and then changes the subject to the effect of entropy on luck.
I wonder who else Darling hid his work from. Marshall? Trench?
I mean, it seems like a lot of people, because none of them, like, everybody seemed like that was like, you gave us these HRA things. I didn't know what the fuck they were for. You know, so clearly they didn't know.
Anything about Dylan's condition?
Only that he's definitely hiss, but I guess his chanting made that pretty obvious. You know, interestingly, the words of the hiss incantation have an average length of 4 letters. The most common word used 7 times is want. The next most common are through and time. That's very interesting, don't you think?
I don't care about the words. What about my brother?
Right. Sorry, I got a little off track. Well, strangely, his tissue samples all look healthy, unlike the other hiss I've tested.
That's good news. Right?
Yeah. My elbow.
I wanted to talk to you about the crazy things I can do. My abilities. I get the sense that they're not very usual around here.
Well, usual and unusual aren't really benchmarks at the Bureau, but for some perspective, Director Northmore once used the floppy disk to send a bowling ball 6 yards through the air, and that was considered a huge deal. So compared to that, you are most certainly an outlier.
An outlier. I like the sound of that.
Alright.
I should get going.
Don't let me hold you up.
Alright, so with that, I think we'll end this part. We didn't really do a whole lot today. I think I shot, 3 dudes? A lot of story, though. But, next part, now we have level 6 clearance, which I'm pretty sure is the highest level clearance there is. We have levitate. We should be able to basically get everything in this game now, as far as I'm aware. I'm not aware of any other abilities. We haven't came across anything else that would require a different ability. So I'm going to assume that we have all the abilities. Now, with that assumption, starting next part, and the way I think I'm going to do it, is in the next part, I'm just going to explore the executive sector. If it takes me 20 minutes, it'll take me 20 minutes. If it takes me an hour, it'll take me an hour. I just want to start basically at the start, or well, here in Central Executive. Go through all the rooms, look for... We should have all the clearance doors. I don't think that there's any clearance doors, at least in Executive, that requires level 6 clearance. I'll take a quick peek here, because I do have my map up. No, there is none. But I do believe that there is a different door in the mailroom or dead letters or something. Whatever the big area is. Dead letters, by the way. Yeah, because it had the control point in it. I think there's one higher up that we couldn't reach because we didn't have levitate before. So yeah, basically I want to go through all of this. I think I might look up because I know there's like secret rooms that you can go into. The first thing we'll do though, before any of that, is we are going to pop back down. And in fact, you know what? I might actually do that right now. Pop back down and talk to what's-her-face. She was in maintenance, was she not? No, I don't think so. She must have been in research. Astral exhibition, synchronicity, ritual. Fuck, hang on. Check on Dr. Underhill's. This is the one I want to check. Yeah, there you go. In research. Where in research are we going? Ritual division. Active threshold. That sounds promising. Let's do that one. Because I want to go and talk to her, because now that we have levitate, Rito, get out from there. Oh god, that's right. This is where the active threshold is. Well, I definitely don't want to be here. Central research sounds good. Because yeah, she should be able to give us whatever it is she was working on to allow us to navigate the mold rooms. And I know that at least a good portion of the hidden, well, I don't know about good portion, but at least a good portion in the early areas are God, this is going to be a long fall. Are within the are like just basically mold rooms. Like we've seen a few of the hidden rooms, but because like we couldn't reach like a central point in them, I guess, to trigger it, it never counted as us finding it. And I know that when you find these hidden rooms, you do get more skill points. So I want to get this. Get this so that as we explore, we shouldn't have anything blocked
then
to
go
us.
and find the source of the mold. Only there can we begin to understand how to stop it.
So you promise I won't end up walking around covered in mold?
Ugh, the pill will prevent any biological infection by the mold.
Take a mystery pill because a rude lady in a hazmat suit tells you to. Great idea, Jesse.
Ugh. Honestly, did you want me to wrap it in cheese?
Not the taste, the smell. It stinks in here now.
Good. That means the pill is working. The worse it smells, the safer you'll be. Now go. Find the source.
Have you worked with Emily Pope?
Our paths have crossed. Darling arranged for us to have a coffee. A meeting of the minds, he called it. She's talented. I can certainly see her doing well here.
I feel like there's a but coming.
But she's drunk a bit too much of the Bureau's proverbial Kool-Aid. She shouldn't be afraid to forge ahead on her own. Science is skepticism. Everything must be questioned before the truth can emerge.
So is Darling your boss?
If you insist on clinging to such outdated hierarchies, then yes. However, I would argue that our fields are too dissimilar for one to manage the other. Of course, Darling would much prefer to find his own miracle solution to the Bureau's fungal frustrations. He always needs to be the hero.
So tell me again how you came to work at the Bureau?
Well, like I said, I was brought in as a special advisor. A temporary position, you see. Although that's not the whole truth. I was employed here for a time, straight out of university. After a decade of admittedly fascinating work in threshold research and regulation, I began to chafe under the bureaucracy. I needed a change. Not that academia was so different.
And then the mold happened.
About 4 months ago, yes. Since my departure from the Bureau, they hadn't been able to find my equal in threshold analysis. Darling and I had kept in touch over the years, meeting at conferences and the like. He called me, and I booked a flight. I've never been able to say no to a man with a dangerous alien biosphere. I had to leave my post in the middle of term, but so be it.
So she's a professor. That explains a lot.
The mold seems to be having some weird effects on things.
Indeed. Even people are susceptible. The fungus grows rapidly within the chest cavity, killing the host. Luckily, one must ingest the stalks to become infected.
Don't eat the mold.
Okay. We've always cremated the infected bodies after autopsy, but I believe there may be another stage of maturity. A blooming, if you will.
I never thought the word blooming would sound so horrible.
Alright,
Thanks for the information.
My pleasure.
so we'll call that here. I will head back to the control point, and like I said, next part, I'd like to start in the executive sector, and then we'll just go through the order that we did. Then we'll start in the executive sector, then we'll go to maintenance. I don't know how much we'll have to find in the executive sector. It could be just me talking while I run around and accomplish next to nothing. That is a distinct possibility. I mean, it is entirely possible that that's what happens, but I don't know what the second shot was. I saw and heard that guy fire. I heard another shot go off, but I never saw it. Oh, maybe it was this guy. But anyway, yeah, that'll be it for this part. Next time we will head through all of the executive sector one more time. To see what secrets and that we can find and other documents we can find. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you next time for more.